Alright, welcome back. And before we start putting some color on our piece, we've got an alright starting object that we created in one of the past videos, but let's make it a tad bit more elaborate, so we'll just call this video Elaborating Parts. And this does kind of fit somewhat nicely on the shoulder area here, so I guess we'll just work off of that. And you can see that I am actually showing you guys a timeline now, since we'll kind of bounce up and down the layers here. You might be interested to see where we're at. It doesn't really matter too much though. Just consider that our sketch back here, our little mock-up, this guy, is on our bottommost layer. Everything else we do will be either above, well, it'll be above this layer, and it will either be below or above this piece right here. And let's just go ahead and have a little fun with it. I want to give you guys as much art creation in real time as possible. I know that this is going to end up being, kind of a big piece here, so but I don't also want to jip you guys and just kind of speed through anything. What I'm going to do is put in a little piece that overlaps on top of this. And one thing I'm feeling from this piece is that it is a little too straightforward. I still feel like it's kind of obviously carved out of a cube, and that's okay. I mean, that'll be the case with a lot of our stuff, but I'd like to just kind of pile some stuff on top of that, if that makes any sense, to just make it look a little cooler. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, oops, maybe I'll stretch this. Here we go. Yeah, actually I had that right. I want to make this piece kind of look like it's clipped on, basically, and it might help a little bit more for you guys to see this if I actually add in the interior line here. And there's a couple ways we could go about this. I mean, we can make it kind of a sharp, angular piece like that. What I actually had in mind was to make this little wall over here, this plane, and then take this piece out here and do one of our first curves. Right, so we've got just this little bit of an angle right there, and then we'll connect up this and this. And I'm just going to bend that down a little bit in perspective. And in fact, now that I'm looking at this, let's see, I think the entire thing could kind of be bent down just a little bit. Like that, and of course that's going to make me have to change this slightly. Looks a little bit like a cheese slice, doesn't it, right now? And you can see I'm keeping these two lines parallel to each other. And what I'm going to do to make it look a little bit less like a cheese slice is let's take a chunk out of this. Not a circular chunk, though. Then it'll really look like Swiss cheese. I'm going to snap that back on. And let's see, I don't know if I should curve that or if I should just leave it straight. We can try it curved. Got a lot of extra line data right there for some reason. And we could try a couple interesting things here. We could connect these two pieces together, which I think is kind of interesting. The other thing to do would be to just make it like a straight box had been taken out of this, in which case we'd pull that line to right there. Let's pull back a bit. That looks, yeah, I kind of like it curved like that. Who knows, that could be some sort of venting station or something like that coming off of him. I would avoid doing something like that. Don't want to do too many curves, I don't think, or at least make them too angular. I would save that for a entirely different style robot, I think. Okay, let's do a, and you know what I'll do for right now is, just so I don't mess with this artwork, I'm just going to make it into its own symbol, and it really doesn't matter what you call these symbols, because probably what'll happen is I'll end up just breaking all of this artwork back down again when I start to fill in the color for it. Still nice to have the symbol artwork in case you ever need to get it back, or if you're doing something on the other side of the robot that's similar, because when you think about it, the parts on one side would probably naturally be repeated on the other side. Sort of like you don't really wear clothing that is completely opposite on the left and right side. So you've got that that artwork that you can go back to if you need to. And what I'll do here is I'll just almost kind of make like a ramp coming down. Let's make it go down to right here. And you know, I don't think that you need to make much sense in your mind about what you're doing, but if you just kind of want to let your imagination run wild, this could be kind of like a metal casing for maybe piping or hydraulics that run underneath here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a bit just so I get this that point going right over there, and then I'll adjust that. I'll take this line and this line, just copy and paste them back in place. And I'll take another line, snap it to that point, and I'll just snap it right along that line so I can chop that off. And then we'll do the same thing right over here. So get rid of that, and now I should be able to fill in this right here. And if you want to, if you could at any point start putting in your own kind of temp shading, just to be able to differentiate a little bit of what we're putting together here. And let's see, let's go. I feel like this is a spot right here that could use a little something. Let's try again. I'll just work on another layer. Let's try putting in some sort of box that just juts out from this. And let's go ahead and snap that to that. What I'll do is I'll give this a couple walls. So it's not a just straight up box. It's got some sort of curvature to it. And I'm going to make one more line right there. Let's see, does that make sense? Yeah. What I'm trying to do is make sure that this line is visually longer than this line, because you got to remember your vanishing points. At some point, these lines here would have to connect. Doesn't matter if it's over here really or if it's way off in the distance up that way, but they should be able to come together, and for that to happen this line would definitely be shorter than this one right here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to sample this color again and just work on top of this real quick to make it seem like whatever component this is, it's clipped in there. And what is this part that we're doing? Who knows? It could be a little extra backup battery or something. We've got something like that now. Okay, what else can we do? Just so we can sort of color as much as possible, I guess we can add in a little bit of the chest armor here. And again, I'm just going to keep making layers up above what I've already done. And as I was saying before, I probably should make these into just symbols, just so I kind of have them laying around. These little clip-on parts we'll just call clips. That's an easy name to give it. Okay, so this would be part of our exoskeleton, not the endoskeleton or the inside part. I looked that up. Remember I said I was going to find some proper terms for a few of the things in this tutorial? Well, that's one of them. The exoskeleton or shell. Got that off Wikipedia. All right, let's see. What I'm going to do is, well, first, the easy part. Just kind of make a little kind of side view of this over here. But now what I'm going to do is chop out some of the inside with a big circle. Okay, and to do that, we haven't used the circle much, have we? I'm just going to go run across here like so. That's gone, and that part is gone. Okay. And let's see. Fill a square over here, and I'm just going to connect that to that, that to that, and then I'll connect this down here. So I'm just adding another point right there. All right, now let's put in a little detail here. I don't know if we will end up using this. Well, I don't know if we'll end up making this into a different color or not, I guess is what I should say. But we'll end up using it for sure. It'll just kind of come down to how we shade this little part right here. And I guess what I'm getting at is this color and this color might be the same thing, but we'll use this line data right here, the stroke, in some way or another to make it seem like there's either a hatch or a panel here, or just some sort of a bevel upwards of the exoskeleton. And I'm trying to keep a nice little equidistant line around there. And I might take that up a little bit. Okay, well, we'll just call this chest plate. And what I'm seeing now is maybe a little chink in my own armor by mirroring it over this way, flipping it around. Well, let's see. Just trying to see how this would look if I flipped it over. I guess kind of the problem here is that these don't really line up together. Let's try this. Yeah, that's a little bit better. If obviously if this side was kind of tilted a little further back, you'd be seeing a different angle on this piece. So what you'd have is something more like a plane right here that's showing, and you wouldn't see that that side. And this would kind of be more like that. But that's okay. We can handle that later. Let's just focus in over here, and let's go over here. I've had this file open for quite a while now. Let's see if we can find just a couple more shapes to throw in while we are coloring things. I'm not against using this little fin that we created back here. We could maybe just make it kind of a dark black color and not give it too much detail, but it does look nice and intimidating. And what else do we have? This is a nice little piece right here, a little kind of what do you want to call it? Polygonal wheel, polygonal. Could go. I guess it could kind of go a lot of places. Let's put it. I'm gonna put it below everything else and just kind of move it around a little bit. I've got a hotkey. I think everyone has that hotkey for sending a symbol to the back. Of course, if you are arranging symbols together, the one that you paste in always takes precedent visually over top of anything else. So to send it to the back, I'm holding down the Option key, or the Apple key on the Mac, and I'm hitting the down arrow. And on the PC, it's going to be, well, whatever these hotkeys are for you. Okay. And so far, I haven't actually found a place that I'm particularly happy with that. What I'm wondering is if, and I'll do this reverse again, how something like this might look. And of course, you'd have the head there, but it could actually look interesting. Throw some maybe more piping and wiring and stuff like that inside of there, but it might give you the idea that these are some sort of rotating thing that I don't know, pivots the chest somehow. So we'll keep that, and it is a nice piece. Let's see if there's maybe possibly another place to put it, even if we just use it for kind of extra random detail. That could work right there. And let's think. Is there anything else we could toss in for right now? This we could just kind of temporarily throw some black shaping inside of there once we begin to fill this in with color. And we might even be able to get away with just moving some of that together. But I think this is I think it's enough to work with for right now, and proceed on to our first real coloring lesson, or shading, I guess you should say. Okay, so I'll be back.